or the cast, but it is the final match of the night. One last best of 5 to determine who advances with Hydra out of the group. Spawning here on the bottom left side of Orbital Shipyard. We've seen them all too many times tonight, and once more we find the orange Protoss. HuK! Why does screen
Why does screen not move?
Okay, that could definitely be a problem.
If you have mouse scroll off. Oh, then I don't know.
That is a very strange bug. Yeah, we may just have to remake this really quick. He might actually just need to restart his client or something weird. I have no idea. I'm not, the way he's described, I was gonna say, because for me, I just forget to turn off the mouse scroll, but like, why would he have that off, right?
Yeah,
I
he was playing.
Right, like this is the first. This is not like the first game of the day. This is the finals. It's the rematch, and it's like these guys already played once. MaSa played in the TvT. Let's try. He says, "Okay." I mean, I feel like a restart is very simple if you want to play safe. Works. Okay, cool.
Oh,
we nailed
okay.
it.
Yay!
All right, fam. We're now getting into it. Let's redo the. Okay, welcome back to the grand finals of the Ting Open. This tournament is worth a $5,000 prize pool. And these guys are playing in the group stage currently to see who gets further on in for a chance at that sweet, sweet prize money. We did, of course, split it up, so top 8 players in the tournament will get paid money. But we're quite a bit of distance from there, so we won't get too far into that for now. Reminder to the viewers, by the way, before we get into this game. Tomorrow we should have all the information we need about the smartphone giveaway. So again, Ting will be hosting a giveaway for, I don't know if it's going to be an iPhone or an Android, or maybe you'll even get to pick. We'll have all the details on that tomorrow, but I can tell you we went to their offices and we got to see, like, they just have like straight up walls of phones. Like, we got to tour it. So they've definitely got phones to give away. So that being said, spawning here in the bottom left side of the map, it's going to be the orange Protoss player once again. Evil Genius's HuK.
In the top right, as the Rut Terran, he elevates MaSa.
And of course, if you guys really want to learn more about Ting, the best way to do that would be go to their website, bttv.ting.com. Sign up for $25 in credit. People were asking, can I sign up and try Ting for free? And with that $25 in credit, you pretty much can. It's actually a really nice, almost signing bonus you get. And it lets them know that you came from Base Trade TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, Orbital Shipyard to start off the rematch, as they did place in the first round of the day.
Yeah, it was a little one-sided for HuK. For those who weren't joining us or don't remember, he did lose the first game to MaSa. MaSa had this really weird 6-Marine push that caught HuK start trying.
Yeah.
Like, it was devastating, honestly. But then HuK very dominantly won the next 3 games. There's a couple of instances with Liberators that looked a little bit dicey, but for the most part, he had this on lockdown.
Right, so we'll see if he can get away with the same tricks, all right? Because the games that he has won, HuK,
whoa,
that is.
That's a really fast Nexus.
Yes, that is. So I guess I still will go through with my point, but obviously he's playing differently this time. The games that he won were all actually based around DTs, funnily enough. Not saying that he is a one-trick pony, but that is certainly what is getting him the head starts, is some type of aggression, whether it's a Resident Enclave. So actually, that game didn't have DTs, did it? Well,
the first one you mean, or which one are you referring to?
With the one on Lairlac against Hydra.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think it did. But
no.
so the early aggression just in general is working out really well, and DTs on top of it works out even better. So I wondered if HuK was going to do the exact same thing 3 times in a row, and if MaSa would be a lot better prepared. Because MaSa, he did try a couple of different builds in their best of 5, which went up to 4 games, and just, the latter 3 didn't work out. He still has a couple more builds up his sleeve, I'm sure. We actually haven't seen any 1-base builds from the American Terrans, North American Terrans.
Actually, yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because I had forgotten that was how pretty much every single of the Korean Terran vs. because it was a Terran vs. Protoss in every single Korean qualifier spot, and all of them were 1-base openers that pretty much was, if it wasn't like Reality doing something weird with the mag field accelerators, it was just Hellion drops and Hellion attacks and other things as such. Maybe that's a style that's not too comfortable for players in North America, or maybe they just haven't seen enough of it because they don't watch enough Base Trade TV.
Yeah, that's clearly it. I don't know, it's always been the case that Koreans have the aggressive
Well,
style in mind.
between the Ting qualifiers, the Corsair Cup, and of course, most notably, the Alima League, we've actually seen a lot of these really cool things. Like, I see people making these threads about stuff that happens in SSL and Pro League, and I'm like, guys, this happened like 2 weeks ago on our channel. Like,
Yeah, that does sometimes happen. But there is like last night's SSL went to a 40-minute TvP on Dusk Towers. We haven't seen that yet. We have seen TVZ and ZVZ, but the TvP was insane. There were some pretty good games last night.
Yeah. Well, the stim for MaSa will be finishing here shortly, and we'll see if he decides to do anything with it. That is a considerably large amount of Marines he could push with. I was going to start with 2 Widowmine drops. That's actually kind of cool. HuK doesn't have the best detection. He's got 1 observer, I believe. Yeah, just 1.
So these stalkers, okay, they're not. I was like, if these stalkers go and see that medevac, I'm just going to, I don't even know what, but they would have had blink. They would have actually been able to tear down the medevac. It would have been so good for them.
Dude, what if Widowmines? They couldn't detect, right? But they could hit and sense movement. So like you couldn't see the DT, but it could still fire off on a DT. With the ground tremors.
Like a spider mine?
Yes, there you go.
Well, that would be the best thing in the world, wouldn't it?
But spider mines were listed as detectors. That's the difference, though.
But that's the only plausible way you can explain how they would. Like,
I guess, yeah.
And yes, I have been saying forever, this is why I don't like DTs. But if we had more options, just a scan and a Raven, I would not mind DTs as much.
Well, the attack in the main doesn't get much down, but 5 kills on these Widow Mines, and they're coming off cooldown here very shortly.
Jesus. Oh my god.
HuK hesitant to bring the Observer. He's getting a new one out to deal with this, so these are going to get 1 or 2 more shots.
The probe's being pulled away from that one. It's just so last second. And we're good.
Yeah. The other Observer, of course, across the map scouting to see what's going on, and the 3rd CC come down on location, but the Marines decide to stim in, they focus off the sentry and just walk away. It's a prank, bro. It's a prank. I didn't mean it. Leave me alone.
Don't be mad, man. Don't be mad. Yeah, they weren't gonna do very much, especially without any medevacs. Like that single medevac was not gonna be able to heal much, and the Marines, just pure Marines, is gonna die fairly quickly. So HuK was able to get away with this fast 3rd, but MaSa isn't so far behind. I mean, you see a pros get away with such a fast 3rd, and every single Terran just gonna be like stupid bracelet. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But you can make up, hopefully, with drops. The probe kills of the Widowmine Gods helped a little bit, too, obviously. And you can just try and go into that late game with Liberators, which he had a very, very nice game on Dusk Towers with. Like, his Liberator control, his Liberator setup can be quite good. But HuK did get a little bit of an accelerated start in this game, thanks to his build.
That though has been like, okay, so versus Hydra it was through damage. This time it was through a little bit of greed, but I feel like if you give HuK just like that little bit of wiggle room, you're really going to be paying for it for a lot longer in the game. And well, MaSa might not be devastated. He's not super behind by this. I am worried because he did, well, we make jokes about the bracket curse. He did lose to HuK earlier.
Yeah. Another Widowmine's going to come in here. There's a cannon, though. Nice reaction by MaSa. HuK's army is pushing out, so this Widowmine might be able to... Well, the Militia Corps could go get it. That's probably the better option, but HuK is going to go ahead and attack. This is actually how he ended the game versus MaSa. Ended the series, actually. It was on Orbital Shipyard with a very similar-looking attack. +1 and Resonant Glaives. 2 Liberators are sieged up, but technically those can go down if you really wanted to commit, if you really wanted to force the issue.
War Prism heading towards the natural base. There's a couple turrets up, but that's not going to stop it from loading at least 2 or so of these adepts, maybe a few more. In fact, we'll just completely skirt around it. And 3, 4, the adepts get out.
Woohoo, very close.
This is going to draw MaSa back. He kind of did that attempted wall again. I forgot he did this earlier, right? He had like that ridiculous wall on the low ground.
Yeah, it looks so silly.
It's not quite there this time, but he's bleeding out. He's hemorrhaging. Adepts get to the other base as well, so the army taking a fight on this side. Stalker's looking to blink up. This is so just deja vu of what happened last time on this same map, but MaSa, not having this snowball out of control, still loses 15 SCVs.
Yeah. The last time it was the army was dying, 30-something SCVs had gone down, and HuK was just looking like, you know, like he won, and he did win. This time, he's down half the army supply, which is a little worrying. His macro did slip whilst doing all of this, though, so that explains some of it. And it is going to be more about position with the Liberators than necessarily the numbers games. Hopefully, by the time MaSa pushes out. And I don't know when MaSa is going to feel comfortable doing that.
Well, looks like now.
Yeah, he scans for the observer and then misses it.
He really does have a grand-looking army, and this Liberator count's going to be hard to overcome. Even if they're positioned poorly, HuK just doesn't have the stalker count to blink underneath them. Because the logic is you're always going to bleed out like 2 or 3 stalkers trying to pick off the Liberators as they're sieged up. Like, there's no question about it. So per Liberator, you start bleeding out 2 or 3, it gets worse and worse, and then eventually it takes 3 rounds instead of 2 to kill the Liberators, and just gets so out of control. But a Time Warp goes down. Oh, that Widowmine snuck in a hit to most of the army.
I said hopefully it wouldn't be a numbers game, as in like HuK would use all of his bank and he would have like a decently sized army to stop the Liberators from even getting into this position. But that did not really happen.
Ooh,
oh, those storms were
but that storm's pretty sick, and he's going to take a lot more Marauders where that came from. Outside of the range of the Liberators dancing on the right side, the Marauders are keeping the Stalkers from just blinking forward and grabbing these Liberators, but that was a pretty good engagement out of HuK. Downside is, though, he's still really far behind in army.
Yeah, that was much better than I thought he was going to get. He was down about 40 army supply at the start of that fight. Closes it more to about 20, so definitely a lot better. His upgrade's about to finish, but he's now taking in a not a very good engagement versus the Marauders. The Mortal did die, so Blink Stalkers don't do well against that. Fourth base is a necessity here, but HuK is getting it on the other side of the map. Really nice that he just recognized he could do that. MaSa is getting his 4th, but only just now. That's going to be quite a while, and HuK still has an opportunity, especially if he had any more storms, to push this back, but he doesn't have any backup storms. Coming in from behind is a pretty good move from HuK, especially if he's able to get into the reinforcements, but unfortunately, Marauders are doing so well against the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah. I mean, HuK's... I will say he's handling himself well, but it's such a... You're limited on what you have. Like, he doesn't have that extra handful. You said there's no backup storms, there's no extra stalkers on the map running around. Like, these Liberators are just leapfrogging forward slowly but surely, and HuK doesn't have an answer for them, unfortunately.
Trying to get through the Immortals doesn't work. Trying to get into the backside doesn't work either. The Archon goes down. All of his really important units go
14
down.
army supply. I mean, MaSa is also on 2-2 upgrades. Let's not forget about this. HuK's not exactly super behind on upgrades, but his bio just looks so much better for it. Level 3 does begin. He's a little bit behind. Widowmine taking out the Mothership Core.
You gotta realize he's an observer. They're killing Widowmine. Scan?
The question is, does he really care, though? Like, I mean, it doesn't really need to, as he continues to advance forward. Stalkers do try and blink in from behind. A couple of these Liberators could be repositioned. The constant rally of units coming forward is one thing, but also a base being taken out of MaSa another. So HuK, while he does establish a kind of a cool base here on the left side of the map, it's not going to be unmatched. MaSa continues to expand like crazy behind this. Going to shut down those +3 weapons in this Forge. Kind of the only thing HuK really had going for him. Not that that would have saved him. Not that would have redeemed him 60 army supply.
I guess all he sees is Liberators, you know? Like, the ground army really isn't that big, and there's no medevacs. Or not many medevacs. So, seeing that, is he intentionally trying to get the Widowmines to splash out the Liberators?
I think that's what he's trying to do, but I just cannot imagine that that's going to justify the costs.
Yeah. But if you see just the Liberators, you're just like wishing you had like a Voidray or something, a Tempest, a single Tempest, and you would clean up a lot of the army difference.
That's very true, because there's not a lot of Marines on the ground. It's heavy Marauders and Liberators, so anything shooting from the sky would have very little opposition to it. But Templar Archive's going to go down. HuK just kind of reeling in the losses, and I don't know, with the Nexus going down, I'm not sure if that'll make him tap out or not.
You can see why he would stay in looking at the army, but when we have the numbers in front of us, it is obvious that MaSa is going to eventually win out as much as HuK tries and tries and tries. Oh, the Liberator circles.
But let's not forget,
God.
this is how the previous series went. Loses the first game to MaSa. Does he bounce back again? That's the question. Map may have played a huge impact on it, but GG gets called, and MaSa will take the first game here in the final rematch. Because remember, guys, the